Do you guys want to talk about the Moto Razr? Do you want to talk about the new Moto Razr 3 and literally every bit of information that we currently have about that upcoming device? Of course you do. So let's take a look at all the information, everything we currently know about the Moto Razr 3, condensed conveniently into a Twitter thread by yours truly. There's actually quite a bit here already to talk about and a lot to maybe speculate about. Some fun to be had here. So let's go to the beginning. Back on December the 21st of 2021, only 4 days before Christmas. What a wonderful time with your family. I don't know. Lenovo executive, now this is important. You may say, well, why does the Lenovo executive matter in this instance? Well, Lenovo owns Motorola. It's a strange, weird world we live in these days. Lenovo executive Chen Jin made a particular post on the Chinese, I believe, social media website, Weibo, who knows? And he said something like this. This is translated into English. Maybe some things got lost in translation because some of this stuff reads a little odd to me, but you can understand what he's saying. He says, I hope that instead of salivating, we will act more, including silently preparing the third generation of Razr folding screen mobile phones, more advanced chip computing power, better human-machine interface, and of course, a more atmospheric experience. I also hope that instead of salivating, they make a Razr 3, and it appears that that is exactly what they were doing. He also posted this image here, which kind of also indicates, yeah, they're working on a Razr 3. So that was back in December of 2021. They're going to release a Razr 3. Then more recently, Evan Blass, who leaks stuff all the time, tends to be extremely accurate. He posted this on 91 Mobiles, which is where he's been posting as of late. I covered both of these images already. We're going to talk about them a bit more in this video. But here you have a couple of leaked images of what is purportedly the Moto Razr Numero Trace. And what you see on this is a couple of things. For one, you have two cameras there, right? You also don't have the big bathtub notch looking thing there. You have a hole punch selfie camera, but we have images now of the Razr 3 to dive into the differences there. This is the new hole punch, okay? So compare that to what it looked like before on the old Razrs with that big notch. I don't know what the point of that was. I guess to have the earpiece there, but that's not really necessary. Put the earpiece up there. It's fine. But, you know, some people would say, I liked that they looked different. They didn't look like a Z Flip. They didn't look like every other phone on the market. They tried to be a little bit different, and they succeeded in that. Well, the Razr 3 is going to look kind of Z Flip-ish, if you ask me, but also, as I put in this tweet, a bit more modern. We also need to talk about the fact that the cover display, which was already quite large, is going to be getting quite larger. In fact, going from 2.7 inches all the way up to 3 inches. We're also getting another camera on the back side, which we will talk about the specifications of here in a minute. You also may notice that this entire thing just has a boxier shape. It also looks like it's losing the big chin down here, right? The Razr before had this big chin that it would fold kind of into like that. Now it looks like it's just going to be more flush. So it's losing the chin, it's getting an extra camera, and the cover display is getting better. Some of these things are probably something you're going to like. Some of them might detract from the Razr, aesthetic, if you will. They're looking more and more like the Flip, which, again, that may be good to you. That may be bad to you. Hard to say. A report then a little bit later on from XDA developers claimed that the internals would be seeing a pretty big jump up. So the Razr in the past used the Snapdragon 765G. This is a mid-range processor. The performance was probably. The reviews I've seen, people like Mr. Mobile, the reviews tend to say that the performance was totally fine, that it's held up fine over the last couple of years, and the battery life was definitely aided by using a mid-range chip. Well, now they're going to go away from that because initially XDA developers said it was a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, but once again on Weibo, Mr. Shenzhen revealed that it would be the 8 Plus. The 8 Gen 1 Plus. And you can see here in this image that is clearly a folding phone. And there you go. There's the 8 Plus there on the Moto device of some kind. I think we can pretty well speculate that is telling us that the Moto Razr 3 will have the 8 Gen 1 Plus, which is an extremely powerful chip. And that is a marked increase in overall performance over the 765G. Some other rumored specs we have here are up to 12 gigs of RAM. That's a lot of RAM. 512 storage. That's a lot of storage. Ultra wideband 5G at 120 hertz, 6.7 inch display. So it was a 6.2 inch display before. 6.7 inch is a very, very large device, but of course it folds over. Like my wife's Flip 3, it's quite small in her pocket, but opens up to be an absolutely enormous, probably too narrow, too tall phone for her, but a very large screen. The cameras that I mentioned earlier are reported to be a 50 megapixel primary sensor at f1.8, so that's pretty solid. You should have a decent amount of like bokeh, natural bokeh without using portrait mode, and a wide angle at 13 megapixels, which can also double as a macro lens. So you're getting two lenses that can kind of do three things. And then with a 50 megapixel sensor, you could reasonably crop in digitally like 3x and maintain pretty decent quality, because you're going to be able to shoot at a higher resolution that allows you to zoom in a bit better. So you're kind of getting 4 different functionalities out of these two cameras. That's pretty solid if you ask me. And if you compare it to the Flip, that I believe is a couple of 12 megapixel cameras, that looks like a pretty competitive setup there. So we have to talk about the fact that the prior Razrs were already $1,400, and the Flips have come down and down and down. Now they're under $1,000. The Flip 4 probably also going to be under $1,000. The Razr is rapidly, massively improving its specs, and it was already a bit expensive. So I don't know where this price is going to come in. We don't really know anything about the price as of yet, but we might speculate probably going to be more expensive than the Z Flip. So it's going to be a bit of a hard sell for people that have seen the Flip. They know tried and true, and it's Samsung, and people are going to be likely to buy at that price point in particular. Then you got the Razr, which is probably going to be over $1,000. I don't see how they could possibly price this thing competitively against the Flip. And I know you might be saying, well, the Flip is going to have really similar specs. The 8 Gen 1 Plus, similar stuff. But Samsung is Samsung, and they can be a bit more aggressive with this stuff than Motorola can. Motorola has been slowly grabbing more and more market share as of late. So they are doing better and better, but are they going to be able to price aggressively enough to really compete against the Flip 4? Hard to say for sure, but I'd love to know your guys' thoughts about this in the comments down below. Another flippy, foldy boy potentially on the horizon. We see rumors that it may be coming as early as late July or early August. We are just right around the corner as we close in on June as it is. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. I will see you guys on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friend.